Hello Stampers, this is Sheila with Stamping Wishes and welcome to my studio. Today's not about making a card, it's about the new To a Wild Rose. I just thought this morning I would pull it out, I hadn't used it yet, and start doing color combinations. So that's what I wanted to show you, and also show you a trick that I learned that helps me line it up a little bit better. And maybe there's something out there that I'm missing on the stamp, but I just, I had to make me some markings to make it work. And I'll show that to you in a minute. So anyway, here is our To a Wild Rose, and here it's a bundle that you can get, and this is the the framelits that go with it. Now when I first get my sets like this, I like to do this, lay them out on a magnet, and then I like to actually run it through my Big Shot and do something like this that I keep on there, so it reminds me of some of the items that I'm able to do. Got one stuck here. With the different dies, and gives me ideas and dimensions and stuff like that when I start making a card. So that's how I start preparing it. And then this morning, like I said, I went through and made several of these color combinations, and hopefully I'll be able to get this right up into the light. So if you see something you like, you can write down the color combination. This particular one was using my first stamp, which I consider this my first stamp, which is the solid stamp. That one was done with the Blushing Bride. And then the second stage stamping I did with Roca Rose. And then the last one I did with Mary Merlot, and I thought those three color combinations were really, really pretty. And then I did this particular one was using the Soft Sea Foam, the Mint Macaron, the Coastal Cabana. Then I came kind of into the blue tones, and I used the Balmy Blue, the Pool Party, and then the Bermuda Bay. And the way I'm calling these off is going from the solid to the mid, solid to the outline. Then I tried some of these colors. This one was the Blushing Bride, the Flirty Flamingo, and the Melon Mambo. This one, I love orange tones and stuff. This one came in as Grapefruit Grove as my first layer, Calypso Coral next, and Terracotta Tile, which I'm loving, this new terracotta color with several different combinations. This one I thought was another pretty combination. It's Crushed Curry, Mango Melody, Pumpkin Pie, or you could use Cajun Craze if you wanted a more contrast to it, but I kind of like how subtle the colors were in the different stages of it. Here's another one, Poppy Parade being the lower color, the Lovely Lipstick being the mid color, and Cherry Cobbler for the outlining. Aren't those beautiful combinations though? Okay, here's another combination here. We'll start up here, and this one is Poppy Parade, Real Red, Cherry Cobbler, and I didn't press my stamp quite enough in there. There should have been a little bit more of that Cherry Cobbler in there, but you can get the drift of the different colors. The Roca Rose, the Rich Razzleberry, and Blackberry Bliss. I thought those were pretty combinations too. This one is using Blushing Bride, Rich Razzleberry, and Blackberry Bliss. And three of my new colors in the purples and lavenders is our new Purple Posy, Highland Heather, and Gorgeous Grape. Pretty colors there too. Okay, and then we start off with this one, and I did save a spot because we're going to do one just so you can see kind of how I lined it up, but I thought these blue tones really looked good together. This is Seaside Spray. Forgot to write down the next one. This is Pacific Blue, and the last one is Night of Navy. So this one I thought was another good color combination, which was Sahara Sand, Bermuda Bay, and Pretty Peacock, which you wouldn't think these look like those colors when they're alone. And this was another one, and I don't know if you can see the sparkle in it, but I went ahead and put some of my Wink of Stella on this one, but I love this color too on a neutral colors, black on black and white and stuff. But it's Smoky Slate, Basic Gray, and Tuxedo Black. So now what we're going to do is, just to kind of show you how I lined up, I've got Cajun Craze, So Saffron, and Daffodil Light. So I'm going to take the lightest one here, and we're going to go. And be sure, and when you're using those photopolymers, to use one of your piercing pads or something underneath it with a cushion, because you get a prettier solid color. Something else that I noticed too, which I'm gradually replacing all of my stamp sets. I'm not replacing, add to it, because when I have classes I need multiple stamp sets anyway. But to get all of the new cases and new formula, because I really like it. So what you'll notice I did is I found a spot and I marked with a permanent black pen, little Sharpie, where I wanted to line up each one of mine. Now this is on the lower edge of the stamp, not on the actual stamp here, because if you do that, that black's going to come off. So you go inside on that second layer, which is the part that usually doesn't stamp. And then you'll just come in here and give it a good press, solid press. And let's hopefully I'm in the frame there. Sometimes I forget to look. And what I really like about it is you do get these different tones, like we just did with that particular one. And let me get my ink cleaner here. Here it is. If y'all haven't gotten your these new pad ink cleaners, I really, really like them. I usually do stamp off, but since I'm using lighter colors and stuff like that, I'm not going to worry about doing that. Okay. And then our next color we're going to use is the Daffodil Delight. And that's, again, where we come in with the second one. And if you notice in between the stamp here, this is where I put my line. So there again, I can come in and line up that area to try and get the stamps lined up the way it's supposed to. And if you look, I don't know if you can see that without me getting my head right in there, but you can see it lining itself right up when you come down on it. Okay, and that little black line again won't come off onto yours. But isn't that gorgeous how that's starting to build the colors? I just love this new set. I'm going to be making quite a few cards here shortly after this, but before I got started with the set, I needed to experiment a little bit with it. So here would be probably something you could use crushed curry if you wanted to keep all yellow tones going in there, but I wanted to see what the Cajun Craze would look like it. So don't be afraid to experiment with color. You never know what you're going to get until you try it. Okay, there again, I've got a mark in between the leaves there, and that again is lining it up, and I knew that these were my bottom. I'm going to have to come here a little bit closer because some of these lighter colors are not quite as easy to see without my head being right over it, but let's see how this works. Oh, didn't press hard enough in the center, but you get the drift. I think that one is a really pretty color combination, and had I pressed a little bit harder in the center, it would have really brought out some pretty colors there. So that's what this video was today, just really to introduce to a Wild Rose bundle and to show you how you should experiment with some of your colors, and don't be afraid to use them. All right, until next time, happy stamping.